Nightmare Labor Day weekend, capping off a summer of absolute travel chaos for thousands of Americans stranded in airports. Take a look at this. So far today, 425 flights delayed, 53 canceled. It's only 6:30 in the morning. All this despite Secretary Buttigieg's warning to airlines and new travelers' dashboard implemented just before the weekend. Florida GOP Congressman Mast sits on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee and joins us now. Congressman, Mayor Pete's had a lot of tough talk over the course of the last few months. Has anything improved?
No, I don't think we could say honestly in any circumstance that situations in travel have improved. I think there's a number of places that we can look and say there really is blame to pass around. We know that they can't control the weather, but we don't have an administration that's pushing for next generation radar systems and more efficient flight patterns. That's something that a lot of people don't see. We know there's major issues with labor, not just with pilots, but also with those flight crews on the ground and also with the FAA and those that are manning the air traffic control towers and other places. And their COVID restrictions continue to put a damper on hiring people into the FAA, continue to put a damper on getting pilots into those training slots so they can get the hours that they need so that they can get up into the air. And then, of course, there's the very, very sticky, that term that keeps being used for inflation, the very sticky inflation that we're seeing that's going to force the airlines to have to go out there, up their game in terms of what they're paying so that they can attract more people to get them on those ground crews. And I think the final point that I'd make on this is we need airlines that are going to schedule in an accountable way. If for the last month, the schedule shows them that, hey, they're scheduling 5 routes between A and B, but they're only able to get 2 routes off the ground from A to B on time, then they probably need to adjust those schedules or else be held accountable for it if those schedules are not working out and causing people to have to sleep in airports, get hotels, be delayed, schedule new flights. That can't be the way forward.
The federal government gave the airline industry billions upon billions of dollars during COVID. Congressman, where the heck did that money go? Because you'd think that these airlines would have said, okay, we know we don't have a lot of flights right now, but when this picks up, when people return to the skies, we're going to want to have these pilots and support staff at the ready to go at a moment's notice. Instead, they let a lot of them go, and now they're like, uh-oh, we don't have any workers. Where did that money go, Congressman? Yeah,
let's put a finer point on this. $50 billion to make sure that those crews were maintained on a flight-capable status so that they could get up in the air. And to say where all those dollars went, how many people were let go, that's not a number that we have at this point. It's something that I'm certainly curious about. How many people did you retain? Who did you let go? Was that done in the way that those programs were put forward to make sure that people stayed on the payroll, not just on the payroll, but on a flight-capable status? That's a question that we need answered. I'm looking for the answer as well. Pete Buttigieg hasn't wanted to give us that answer so far.
If the improvements that you suggest do not happen, is there any chance that this is just going to improve by inertia, by the fact that, hey, the summer travel season's over and maybe there's fewer people flying in September and October? Or is this going to stay bad into September, into October, November and beyond?
I don't think it's likely that it just improves because we get more time out. Why is that? Well, we do have, on the positive side of it, we're getting more pilots that will get those training hours and get off the ground, those that were grounded previously. That's something on the positive side. On the negative side of it, we're seeing more and more and more travelers. We're getting back to those pre-pandemic levels of travel. Labor Day is a perfect example of it. And I think on Labor Day, the big point that we need to make here is labor is the issue. There is not enough labor. That goes to inflation in part, the airlines needing to get people trained, getting people their hours, getting people on the ground crews, and working with what they have for labor to schedule in an accountable way for we the people that are out there paying them our dollars to be brought from A to B on time. That's something that has to be accounted for.
And with more and more people getting back to the office, you can expect business travel to pick up because people probably at this point, 2.5, 3 years in, have a little bit of Zoom fatigue, if you know what I mean. Congressman Mast, thank you as always. Enjoy your Labor Day, sir.
All the best.